Alright. So many mice, so little time.
Mice?
Well, I got 2 mice, I got 3 screens, it's always something. So here we go,
2 mice,
ladies.
3 screens.
2 mice,
Oh,
3 screens. Yeah! Good morning, TikTok, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on which part of the lovely planet you're on. We've had people...
Night.
Yeah. No night already, we just started.
Wow.
Let's see. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello and welcome to everyone coming in.
Hey,
Happy
Lily's
summer.
Here. Hey, Lily, what's up?
Hi, Lily.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I try to use one mouse across 3 screens and then 1 keyboard, and then I found out sometimes when you think you're quitting out of one, you suddenly quit the stream over here. So
one mouse to rule them all.
Exactly. So I'm going to just type a good morning to all the folks in YouTube.
What is it? One mouse to na-na-na, one mouse to na-na, one mouse to find them all and in the darkness find them.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. As you folks are filing in, just to let you guys know, today's our big reveal.
Reveal!
Invite to join live. Let's see. Invite to join. Wait, that's an invite to join someone else's live, not someone trying to get in. So yeah, so
we don't get all this newfangled stuff.
We'll just like it's funny. It's like TikTok
we got
knows.
Coming in. What's up? We got Playa 1 came in. Someone else came in that I just missed. Dagnabbit, there's too many. Stop. No, wait. Don't say that.
Yeah.
The algorithm's like, I heard that.
Open the door and go away, people, go away.
Rose Macabre joined.
Why are you coming into this open door?
These names are so great. We like your names, folks. Hey, if you're still watching and you haven't scrolled past already, please drop a comment in the box. Where are you at? We are in Los Angeles, California.
Yep.
Where are you?
We're the freaky Hollywood people.
We don't need the address. We're just general. What country are you in?
If you're willing to just type out your address on social media. There will need to be some.
We need to have a talk with you and have a parent moment. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that, kids.
Don't do that. Do not dox yourself.
Thank you, CC Supremacy, for the love.
Yeah.
Oh, Michigan. Okay, what's up, Michigan?
Hey, Michigan.
Very cool.
Yep, I have not been. I have not been to.
I've been to. Detroit.
No. I've been to Michigan a few times.
Oh.
It was part of the tour for dog shows. And then I also had a friend in Detroit so around 10th Mile.
Are you saying that we do dog shows also on the side, Tom? What do you mean by dog shows?
No.
Tell us about the dog shows.
That's my childhood.
Quick note to everyone who's in here, just so you know, unless you want to say it. Hey, if you're coming through for the reveal, we're doing the official reveal.
Bottom of the hour.
Yeah, bottom of the hour. Okay,
yep.
So if you need to go scroll on some other people, come back. We'd like it if you stayed and hung with us.
Yeah,
because
we're gonna be
talk about cartoons and stuff all day.
Exactly.
But that's when we'll be doing the official reveal. What does bottom of the hour mean? I don't even. I'm like.
That's an old radio timey thing for the days before Spotify and streaming and whatnot. Radio DJs would say they would talk about top of the hour and bottom of the hour, and usually you would do it because you would have to do station identifications. And it's like, it's the top of the hour. This is the NBC radio network. Or,
oh my God! Say WKRP in Cincinnati, but do it in the radio voice.
But do it in a radio voice.
Yeah, do it.
Well, but there was a couple of WKRP voices. There was Dr. Johnny Fever, and he was just like with WKRP
no, but the
Cincinnati.
Sexy voice you just did.
Oh, so the sexy voice was like, you're tuned in to WKRP in Cincinnati.
I love it!
It's the top of the hour.
Happy.
It's actually just after the top of the hour, so it's 10:04 for those of you. Now let's check with Les Nessman and traffic.
Is it because it's a clock, so the bottom is the 10:30?
Yep.
Oh, I always thought bottom meant, 10:59, and then the top would be 11:01.
Okay.
So no.
Nope.
Okay,
top of the hour
means at 10:30.
At 10:30 we will do the reveal. So right now, of course, you're just seeing the kids, the lovely kids here.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So for those of you who have been here in other live streams, we've been going back and forth of doing the rough animations, the kind of moving storyboard animatics to start getting the actual dialogue in. So what you're seeing in behind here is merely...
I need a holder thingy.
You need a holder thingy?
Yeah, when you turn your iPad sideways, the live still stays vertical. So I have to be like this.
Oh, that's odd.
Someday. Yep.
Well, yeah. Let's see. What can we do to get that staying in
Merry
it?
Christmas to me. Hey, if you're hanging out.
Hey, DJ.
Besides, yes. Hey, DJ.
Are you saying hello to the...
No, I'm not.
Okay, fine.
I'm talking. Please, let us know. Are you Team SpongeBob or Team Bob's Burgers? Or do you just love both cartoons? That's how we are.
Do you want to do a poll?
Is that it? Is that a...
That's a request.
That's a Minnesota way of saying, make a poll. Okay, we'll make the poll.
We'll do the New Yorker thing. Hey, make a poll.
Yeah, we got it both. Thank you. Oh, I don't even know how to say that beautiful name. That's very cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty. I wish you could have the thing where you could say, here's how you pronounce it. I love it.
I know.
That's really neat. Okay, poll.
She's making a poll.
Poll.
So we're going, this part here is actually with, we'll be focusing on a number of moments with Louise as she announces her ideas to get out of this plot. So our roughs right now just have her going through a whole lot of emotions as she's suggesting different ideas. And eventually, Tina will begin to panic about all those ideas. The interesting thing that led to deciding to work on the big reveal of our antagonist, our main guy, and someone who, it's funny, outside the main family, it's always been either Teddy or who is Fish Odor or who is Mr. Krabs in this one. And a lot of people obviously have been speculating. We've been playing coy because, you know, he's a big deal, and we actually will in the episode, for those who will not see any of this stuff, and he's the big reveal towards the end. Although I will say that there's going to be extra layers of surprises unrelated to all these worlds that we're going to pop through, because we are huge fans of animation. We're going to just do crazy stuff no matter what.
Crazy!
It'll all make sense in the episode. But in the meantime, what we began to realize is that we were starting to get into some of those scenes, and I'm going like, okay, well, I can't sit here and work on rough animations of a major character we haven't even revealed yet. Yeah. So one thing.
By the way, we found out. So you pronounce it. It's Sincerely Logan. That's cool. It's just with really cool, fancy writing. Hello, Sincerely Logan.
Hello,
I like
Sincerely
that.
Logan.
Oh, I love it. Hello, Megan's tags. We got Sam. Oh. Pile? Did I say it right? I hope
or
so.
Pele? Is it spelled like the soccer player?
No, I don't think so. Well, P-I-E-L-E-T.
Ooh, I would not venture against this.
Probably
despite the fact that we tried to work out very many languages. And
Ready Flame 22.
Hello.
And Michael. Love it. Yep, people are coming through.
All
they
right.
Want the goods. So
they want the goods. So we are just merely already 22 minutes away. We will do our big reveal, bottom of the hour, so 10:30. And one of the reasons why you say bottom of the hour is, as opposed to just saying, why don't you just say 10:30?
Bottom.
Well, bottom. Ha ha. Ha ha.
You could do a Pee-wee?
A little bit.
That's really good.
Thank you.
He has more of a mezzo. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What? We've been together 10 years. I have not known you could do a good Pee-wee.
Yeah, but the thing is that he'll go from that throaty thing that I can do better.
Yeah.
But his normal voice is just it's something I have to like really warm into, where it's that kind of thin, like that all that stuff that not a million miles removed from what Tom Kenny does with SpongeBob,
right,
but it's one of those like many voices. You either nail it, or maybe you have a slight bit of a wiggle room, but if you miss it, you miss it big, and people just go, you don't sound like him at all.
All right, Michael with the favorite this, favorite that. Dude, I don't have the energy today, so you can write all your favorites, but yeah, we're sticking to cartoons, darling. Okay, maybe next week I'll be up for answering all of your favorite Adam Sandler movie. I will do that one, just because.
Oh, okay.
Just because. Now listen, there's a caveat for this.
There's an Adam Sandler caveat.
A lot of Adam Sandler movies have turned out to be very problematic. So I guess on a personal level, I do love Punch Drunk Love. But the one that we watch every Thanksgiving that is very problematic.
God, now I know where we're going.
Is Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill is my all-time favorite Adam Sandler movie. If we could just remove the horribly, 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 horribly overtly racist section about the very lovely
the Mexican family, yeah.
It's just, I mean, fudge. Wow. Just wow. But other than that, I love that movie. So there you go, Michael.
Yeah.
You get one.
Excuse me. The The whole DJ thing of why you say bottom of the hour.
Sorry, yes.
as opposed we derail ourselves all the time. You should see us getting serious work done here. The whole reason for the bottom of the hour is that a lot of the more popular morning shows or evening shows will be simulcast across multiple time zones. So if you're the morning show in Los Angeles, but you're also hearing it in Texas or you're hearing it in New York, or you listen to something nationally syndicated.
Then wherever you are.
No matter where you are, at the very least, if at 10:30, 12:30, 2:30,
it's the bottom.
It'll be the bottom of the hour. So we are now a lovely 19 minutes from the bottom of the hour to be able to do our big reveal.
I think it should be. We'll be showing it at whatever 30.
Whatever 30.
How about that? Whatever 30. Whatever you are, 30.
Ahora
y
media.
Wherever you are, 30.
All right, to actually show a little bit here while we're going on. So we've obviously been working on the scenes with the kids.
It looks like nothing's changed. What's happening?
Who said that?
Me.
It looked like nothing changed.
Well, so what's new this week from last week on this section?
Well, there was a little bit more emphasis on this. I mean, I know
changes. Okay,
yeah.
I see.
So, for example, we're gonna have a sight gag. SpongeBob famously, Bob's Burgers will do this. They don't do it as often as they used to. If you watch the early seasons, they would have these moments where, I mean, something as random as talking about things Gail did with, the things like ate lipstick, something with her cats,
the shrimp dress,
the shrimp dress and stuff like that. And they will do these quick cutaways, or a quick sting. There's a moment where Linda says to Hugo, "You look like something out of Carrie," and for 1 second, the camera zooms in on Hugo and bathes it in red for like maybe barely half a second, and then zooms back out. In SpongeBob, everyone knows those famous moments where all of a sudden they'll ratchet up to a close-up, and instead of it being standard animation, it'll be more like a painting, and they're called gross-ups. So instead of close-up, it's a gross-up, or
instead of a glow-up, it's a gross-up.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is, and I'm sure even Ren and Stimpy got it from somewhere, but Ren and Stimpy would popularize it, where it's like Ren, I can't really do. I'd really have to work out either of their voices, but they would do something, then they would do like a quick insert shot of a boil.
That's why
pimple.
I could never get through that show, because it was so gross.
Yeah.
And I love gross out humor, but oh my god, their details, like the nose hairs with the booger sticking out. They'd be like, nee, I'm like, ugh.
Exactly. So, as one of the great things about doing the rough animation, and you watch a scene, and then you have moments where you're watching, a Bob's Burgers episode, you realize those extra textures of flavor, iconic flavor from both shows, and you go, aha! So we have a moment where originally it was just Tina talking about something, and then I realized, let me move her more center here. And I realized instead of her just talking about the idea, that she's actually going to bring up a poster. And this gives us two opportunities. We will have a moment of Tina being very Tina. So, of course, her idea is going to be loaded with horses, or in this case, seahorses, and, maybe beautiful boys and her pastel colors and stuff.
Yes.
But at the same time, then, we're going to do an insert shot where you really zoom in, and then we play a little bit into SpongeBob's kind of gross out stuff where it's like, oh, it's too much, it's and there'll be like a little some kind of sting, and I haven't decided yet if we want to do a Bob's Burger sting of kind of like, nee, or
that thing that
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or if it's more of a lot of times when SpongeBob will do a gross up. Are you being grossing?
Dun dun dun.
Well, they'll either do da da da, or they'll have a scream. You'll hear like a woman scream like ah. So that's what actually is one of the best things about working in animation, is that you've got this full palette of what you want it to sound like and look like. But compared to a movie where you have, if you want that look, you're either spending hours and hours in CG or trying to get it all in camera, and then the sound mix and stuff like that, and a staff. It's like, we're a staff of 2.
Yay!
If we can draw it and do the sound work in a reasonable time, or do the voices in the booth.
Music.
And the music.
Oh, we just got a new cool thingy to help with the music. I'm gonna get it. Where do you put it?
It's in the fireplace, by the fireplace.
In the fireplace.
With all the other instruments.
Woo-hoo.
She's off getting more. So besides that, she's been helping out friends and stuff like that, and coming home with random stuff. So we've got this lovely globe now we've got in the background, and I must say she's getting the stuff. I don't even know. I'll check the stuff. Make sure. Hello, Oof, and hello. You like the mashup of Louise and Gary? Thank you very much. That is that. There were so many moments of you sit and you puzzle and you look at the cast, and some were real easy to put together, like the reveal we're going to do in 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody had a recorder.
Yep. You cannot do SpongeBob.
I want some burgers and fries. I want some burgers and fries. Well, there's some right here. Don't you tell me no lies.
Yep. Although they use slide whistles and straws.
No. They start with that, but then. What's his name who wants to learn how to pop and lock in another thing? He comes in with his recorder. And
yes,
then they
yes,
add
he does. Yes, he does. In the itty bitty Diddy committee. Yep. Gotta pronounce that correctly.
Trying to tell me about Bob's Burgers. Tell you.
Oh, you are correct. You are correct.
Okay, good.
All right, so yes, so we've got the gross up moment. We're gonna do a quick insert shot of Tina's poster, and I'll add an extra accent so that when we cut to Bob's reaction, he's got more to, because John Benjamin will obviously play his energy typically very low, like oh my god, but the crazier.
You have to say it more like you've given up on life.
Exactly. And we are at a point in this episode where it feels like all is lost. I think actually that's the first words is all is lost. But that's the idea, is that so it's the family coming together to try and work their way out of it. And famously, they're just going to be making more of a mess than anything else. And we've got this great moment that leads into a very Bob Belcher family and SpongeBob moment. And like we said, anytime we can feel like a really strong overlap, that just it works in both worlds, we just get more giddy and excited, because it's one of those things where they talk about in golf about like that swing, and you'll have golf instructors or golf players will talk about how you just feel at that moment, the moment you hit, and there's some kind of like just the way that the vibrations over there, it just tells you, what are you doing?
It tells you you're in that golden spot. It's like, okay, for basketball, you just know, you're like, swish, you feel it leaving your hand, and you just know. Yeah, you're in the zone.
Exactly. So or when you're when you're doing a bat or whatever it is, and you just know the moment you connected. That thing is going out of there, whatever it is, because you've hit so many up that are off or whatever it is. Yeah. Same with SpongeBob's Burgers, where when we realized
when your pen hits that screen just right, and you go, yep, that's the eyelash I wanted.
We are almost 11 minutes away from the bottom of the hour to do our big reveal.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, anyone who's still in here, where are you at? We had one person from Michigan.
Yep.
Where's everybody else? Where the heck are you?
Yeah, if you're coming on in, where are you from?
Where are you from?
What you up to this lovely Sunday besides TikTok and YouTube, of course?
Yeah. And are you an artist? Are you just a cartoon fan? We actually had definitely an animation artist on last week. They asked all kinds of really great questions that I had no idea what the answer was, because I am not an animator. I am a voice actor, but Tom, as the animator, had some lovely convos. That was interesting. Oh my gosh. So this is kind of just like, so you get all of the main things, and then you start filling in, and then do you color at the very end?
No. We're using kind of a hybrid setup here. So there are shows that still will like do frame by frame and paint it. But usually they're painting digitally these days. Everyone's using Photoshop or some other program.
Better.
Well, paint sounds better, but
it's stinkier.
An animation studio can be stinky regardless of what tools they're using. Ba-dum-bump. Hello. But the issues are that you will have directors, art directors, creative directors, people that their whole job. I mean, in anime, it gets even more like rigid, where you've got people whose entire job is to basically go through I can't remember the terminology now, but like because
Like
even
an assembly line.
even well
Like-
no well even
Yeah.
so here's the deal. So even in
Oh God.
Invincible,
Too fast. Yes.
even Invincible, which was done by a studio in Canada,
Yeah.
out of Toronto, I think. So for Invincible, but they'll do. I think I'm using the wrong term, but it's something. It's called a draw over. So what it is you're watching these rough things, and in a big time studio, it's not quite this rough and ready. It's a little bit more finalized. But you have people whose whole job is to go back through and kind of draw on top of it. It's like making notes on a PDF and just saying, actually draw it a little bit more from this angle, or lengthen this, or make this more dramatic, whatever it is. And they'll just draw it on an additional layer. So if you were painting old school, like on watercolor, I mean, Studio Ghibli, for example,
Oh my God.
famously.
Studio Ghibli forever.
And apparently, Miyazaki's got one last film coming out.
What? And that's it?
Well, as far as like him,
He has to make films forever, doesn't he know? There will be no stopping
there'll be no stopping.
of the Studio Ghibli.
Yep, make
Okay,
sure.
while we're pausing, I
Yep.
know, hold your thought. First of all, we do have an artist with us today.
Yay!
How cool. So, Sincerely Logan says, I'm an artist. I made the Sailor Moon painting and an Anastasia painting for my friend. I'm like, that's cool. What medium do you use? I would love to know.
Yeah.
His
Or
daughter,
what
my
apps?
stepdaughter, is an amazing artist and would draw all kinds of just incredible stuff. She did portraits of drag queens that were just, I mean, like she would take them to the drag cons and they would be like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yep.
Amazing
We would do
work.
RuPaul's, and yeah, we had moments where they were beyond excited coming through, and you need a Kleenex?
Yes,
All right.
you need a Kleenex? I need a Kleenex.
I'm good at the merriment. There you go.
All right, anyone else here need a Kleenex?
Yeah, you need a Kleenex out there in TikTok, and then on YouTube. It was amazing that, and this was back. God, she was like what 14 for some of those.
Dude, yeah, she's amazing.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep, and
we are
she was,
curious.
and she got some great stuff with a number of.
We have a viewer on YouTube. Hi.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hello. Although don't look that way. Look that way. The camera.
Hi.
Hello,
What's
YouTube.
up? Very exciting.
Yep. The algorithm has been very, very, very pleasing with us all this year for TikTok.
Very pleasing.
You very, very. I mean,
I like that. The algorithm has been
the algorithm has been very, very pleasing.
so funny.
It washes over you like a fine mist. No. But YouTube, it's funny when we revealed the title sequence here. And it got traction. We're now sitting at over 300,000. I think I've got 1,500 on YouTube.
Wah, wah.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I have 5,000 followers on YouTube.
Yep.
Almost.
Yep.
Almost. But I sort of took a break from my YouTube channel, and I need to get it started back up, so it's going to happen.
Exactly. All right. We are now only 6 minutes away from our reveal. Hopefully it all works as smoothly as I'm intending.
Cool. Sincerely, Logan, you do acrylic. That's very cool. That's not an easy. It's funny. It's like, oh, it's an easy It's not an easy medium. That sucker dries fast, and you gotta just like. I wish oil wasn't so toxic, cause man, all those Another Bob. There's the other Bob.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. All the Bobs,
all the
guys. Here's our Bob Ross paint. We did a Bob Ross painting thing.
Yep, where it was
Here's one of them.
yeah.
And we only have acrylic, so again, we're like trying to.
Camera right there.
Sorry, in your face. Bob Ross stuff.
Yep. Exactly. We had our daughter we mentioned before. She did a.
I think this one's yours.
It might be.
Yeah.
A Bob Ross
this one's
painting
yours.
party
Very
where
good.
basically you invite all your friends. We just grabbed a bunch of inexpensive paint from the art
Oh yeah,
store.
we
and
highly
canvases.
recommend. Do a Bob Ross birthday party. It's so fun. You just set up your TV and then everybody gets their own little paint station.
Because I think Netflix and other places have all the old episodes, so you just crank it up and in real time. I mean, granted, there were I think a moment where they all just say, "Can we pause for a moment to catch up?" I think we even did that too because we did ours separately. We let all the kids do it on their own while we supervised and made sure there were no monster messes.
It was so fun. We should do that again with our friends.
Yeah, we just took a bunch of banker boxes, flipped them, covered them with like little, or I don't even know if we covered it with
If you
canvas.
take the top of a banker box and flip it, it's like a tray. By the way, it also makes a great TV tray in a pinch. But That way, if you have your painting in there and you're making a mess, it stays on the inside of a banker box. Who cares? But it's like it could be your own little tray in your lap almost, right? So yeah, it was really cool. That was super fun. Let's do that again, man.
Yep.
All right, so now what? Now what's happening?
Well, let's see. 4 minutes away from the bottom of the hour. So right now, because the big
Taylor.
Once we do the big reveal, then we can show how things led to that point and all the craziness for the past week on that.
Yes, all the madness.
All the madness.
Practically, hello, Tom. I know everyone's coming in to take a peep and then maybe move back out. If you want to see the big reveal of the character that is mentioned in the title of this live stream, stop moving my coffee.
Well, and stop looking like you're going to nail it with your iPad. I'm waiting for the big reveal.
We're doing the big reveal at the bottom of the hour, and if you don't know what that means, well, you're probably not the same age range, but it means if you're in Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Delta, what is it, Pacific Dom Time? Pacific...
What do they call it when you shift the clocks?
Dumb. Pacific Dumb Time.
Pacific Dumb Time.
That'll be 10:30. But whatever 30 you're at, that's when it's going to be.
But nearby in Arizona, who doesn't do daylight savings time,
so
it
in
may
4
also...
minutes, we're doing it.
Yep. Yep.
What is this? Must be some flower germinating.
In your nose?
Yes.
What were you sniffing yesterday?
See, we need to do that for the fortune cookies. Instead of da-da-da-da in bed, it needs to be like, you will have good fortune in your nose.
In your nose?
In your nose. I like in your nose.
You will meet a new friend in your nose.
In your...
Success is easy in your nose.
No! That's very 80s. I think that Gordon Gekko would agree. What, did I get you?
Well played.
When I get him to laugh...
Well played.
Oh my god, okay, if any of you guys play Cards Against Humanity, right, you know the secret is, it's not about necessarily even being the most clever in general. You have to figure out the humor of the person who is, voting.
Taylor.
Yeah, so... For him, he's got a particular sense of humor. I'm always trying, if I can get him
2.5 minutes! 2.5 minutes!
Okay, cutie pie. Anyways, yes, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Hey, K-Way, what's up?
Hello.
Oh, XX Exotic XX joined. Well, hello there.
Well, hello.
Hello. Oh, God, and now I think I rubbed the makeup into my eyes. Oh, my God! I hate makeup sometimes, all the time. But I like what it does to my eyeballs.
If they could, well, they like your eyelids, not your eyeballs.
Yeah, that's true.
Apparently, your eyeballs disagree.
Yeah. Oh, Taylor has so many different versions of Cards Against Humanity, right? Oh my God.
Yep.
So you can never have enough. You just can't. Oh, and back in the old timey times, it was Fibber McGee. It's basically Cards Against Humanity is Mad Libs. It's just naughty Mad Libs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's face it. But whoever came up with it, I am envious. I'm just going to have to do a ton of that for game time.
Yep.
I still have to figure that out. So I have my own channel. It's Georgiffy. As you can see my handle when I respond on things down here. Anyways, I started it out and I did all different kinds of stuff because I do stand-up. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles. I do voiceover, all that stuff. So I was like, I'm going to do this. Wait, I'm going to try that. 1 minute. And then I'm like, okay. So it's taken me a while to finally hone down to what exactly I want to do with my channel. So I'll be launching it this week. I'm very excited. But if you're into fun and games, you might be interested. So check it out.
Yep.
Or not. Or yes.
All right.
Well, I know it's 1 minute, but wait, we have another comment. So Taylor says, basically, but is golden, LOL. I don't know what that means, Taylor. Hold on. Basically, but is golden. Something important was said, and then I missed the moment. But K-Way says, my mother has said the same thing. She says it's a more complicated version. Oh, both of you are talking about Mad Libs. Yes.
Yes.
Got it. Oh, she says it's more complicated? Mad Libs is just a sheet of paper with blanks in a story, and you fill in whatever you want, which, since most of us were doing it in 4th grade, it's usually poop.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're finally here. We're finally here at 10:30. So
10:30 is time for the reveal.
For the reveal.
Gene, a drum roll.
All right, ladies and germs. Let's turn off the briefly here. You're just gonna keep. Are you gonna just keep drum rolling until it's time?
Drum rolling.
All right, we are drum rolling.
I have drums in the background, but they're electronic. I don't want to turn them on right now. Oh, good for my belly. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right, here we go.
Woo!
So here is our reveal. Let me turn up the sound here, and away we go. And that's it.
Hold on! Don't say it. That's it. That took hours of work. People, it takes hours of work.
That's the funny thing is that it was a rush and 2 a.m. last night just to get at least a little bit of something, a little bit of music, a little bit of sound effects. So we will play it again.
Play it again.
Play it again. All right, we'll play it one more time.
And again. Yeah.
And that's yes.
Let's look at details. Okay.
Let's look at details.
Details. Okay, you sit there and be fabulous. So we've got. Where do I point to point? Doesn't matter. Okay. You can't see my finger pointing. But like, look, you guys. So he managed to get Fish Odor's hair piece, which, well, that's Fish Odor's hair. He doesn't wear a piece like Mort. But you'll see the hair. He had to work on putting it behind Mr. Crab's eyeballs, but then you were saying like there's going to be times you're going to have to move the hair in front of or in back.
Oh, well, it's so here it's when he rotates a little bit. It's that whole thing of like you do animation typically in animate at least in layers, and the problem is that at sometimes depending on which way you're facing, this arm will be in front or it'll be behind, or in the case of Eugene Crab's eye stalks coming out of his head, sometimes it'll be behind the head, in front of the hair, but not in front of all the hair because there's that little bit of Fish Odor's coif in the middle that kind of comes between the two stalks, which will be blocking some whatever it is, and it's just like
what are stalks?
The eye stalks.
Oh, they called eye stalks.
Yep.
He's also into biology, you guys. He's
I'm nuts.
I love that. I like eye stalks.
Well, the funny thing is that as you draw, whatever it is you want to draw, whether it's flowers or animals, whatever it is, you go like, wait a second, how do you draw this part of a horse? And you have to look it up, and then you
Withers.
start like, suddenly you start being like Tina, and you start doing all this stuff. The big fun thing though was trying to work on Eugene's what's funny is that he doesn't always move in that rapid, we hear this part here, so we'll back it up.
Yeah, play it again.
But the whole thing with his legs going in, and so you want to go, okay, well, you need to do it authentically because it'll look wrong if you're not doing it that way. And what's funny is that it's only 3 frames. Walk cycles can be of all different kind of lengths depending on the character, whatever it is, but at least in the cartoons that I was studying and like slowing down frame by frame by frame by frame, it's like it was just 3 frames repeated over and over and over again to get his iconic speedy walk. And what's funny
is... It's just amazing it's only 3 frames. I was like, that's impossible. It's 3 frames, people.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So it's just
you could be the new secrets revealed of cartoons.
Secrets revealed of cartoons.
Like the fast food secrets guy.
Yep. Has anyone mentioned anything on all this?
Oh, they all love it. Oh yeah, everyone's very excited.
Oh good.
Very excited. Okay, he wants some validation.
Well, no. It's just I want to make sure people aren't asking questions. We're just like ha la 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 la.
I'm on top of it.
Okay, fine.
Mister.
Fine.
Yes, they say, oh my god, it's amazing. I love this so much. Oh my gosh, I knew it. So there.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who just from the get-go, I mean, it of course made perfect sense. The boss is Mr. Krabs in the Krusty Krab, and Fish Odor owns most of the town and Wonder Wharf.
Part of what we came up with is we're like, hey.
Well, and so it just made perfect sense. So obviously, it was funny. One of the very first comments when we revealed this back in January was someone going like, talking about like, oh, did Mr. Krabs give SpongeBob the Krusty Krab, and this, or is it kind of like the Krusty Krab too?
Story.
Well, it was just people just wondering like why does the Krusty Krab say SpongeBob or SpongeBob's Burgers on it instead of just the Krusty Krab? Obviously, there must have been some transfer. And the comment that I made back then on that first video is, well, let's just say there's still going to be a matter of the rent, because in Bob's Burgers world, Bob doesn't own the building. He doesn't own the Krusty Krab or his restaurant. Fish Odor does. So yeah, so everyone was always asking, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? So we'll give this one more play, and then we'll start showing how this started coming together.
Someone's saying they can't wait to hear the voices. I know I'm cutting in because you want me to keep up with
Yes.
the commentary. So, someone's saying they can't wait to hear the character voices. So, just to review for y'all, what voices are we doing here? And what we tell people, we could either do Bob's Burgers, or we could do SpongeBob, or we could do a blend. But we're looking at this as if you're out in the world, and the casting director says, "Hi, we want to cast the SpongeBob group in a Bob's Burgers story." So it's gonna be SpongeBob voices.
Yes.
Also because, let's face it, SpongeBob voices are, when I say this with great respect, easier to mimic than mimicking Bob's Burgers voices, because the Bob's Burgers voices are very much unique. It's not something modulated or changed. I mean, but John Benjamin is John Benjamin. So you have to. There are voice actors, I'm sure, who can emulate anything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, our talent lies more on the spongy side.
Well, unless by coincidence we can do, we are in that same range of voice.
Yeah, tone and.
But yeah, that you have moments where it's like, oh, that'll be easy, or that'll be a stretch, and you have the ones where we just look at each other and go, ah, crap.
Like Gail, again, I haven't warmed up, but Gail, I can get a little bit more into, a little bit more. But then when she gets like squat.
Exactly.
But Linda. Oh, I mean, she's so many levels and modulations.
Even though the actor
she gets a little more. Hey, honey, a little more New Jersey, and then she'll go into more of a Marilyn Monroe. Hello, Bob, Bobby. But then we're going with Sandy Squirrel, right? And she's up here in more of that. She's from Texas, even though it feels a little bit more like she's from Tennessee, because it gets a little bit more like this, and Texans are a little bit more. I feel a little bit different, but. Can we all just say we all worship the voice actress who does Sandy? She's a goddess. But then mixing, occasionally throwing in just a little Linda for sass. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be really tricky and challenging.
All right, well, let's see. We had our poll come in after 30 minutes, and it's... So the question was, which Bob is your favorite? I'm Team SpongeBob. I'm Team Bob's Burgers. Both.
Oh, today we got
half and half. Yeah.
All right.
No one who said they're only Team SpongeBob, which is unusual. Usually, is people are, if they're going to lean one way or the other, they're going to lean more with SpongeBob. So
True.
Dun da da. Do it again. Start again.
Yeah, I love that.
All right.
I love that.
Well, okay. So let's break this down. Let's bring back our background music, y'all.
I like that.
And let's see.
That looks so cool, babe. He worked so hard on this, you guys,
all
all week. Because again, remember, besides a full-time day job, he's doing this around it. So it's amazing.
Yep,
it is amazing.
And famously, so next weekend will be July 4th weekend. We already, in our local community, they did a Founders Day, so we had fireworks last night. So as everyone's already getting full steam into summer, it also reminds me that we have 2 months.
2 months.
So for those of you who since January have been like, oh my God, I can't wait for this thing. Even this thing here, it was, like I said, it was the realization that I needed to start working on bringing him in towards our Act 3 in our episode. So that meant, because previously all I had...
Taylor says your work is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Taylor. That means a lot. It just warms the cockles of our heart to have so many fans who are as excited as we are about this idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I've got a barn, you've got some costumes, let's make a show.
Yep. And the big risk, of course, is that, there are all kinds of ideas everyone has. Watching a movie, oh my God, if they did this with the Avengers or the Mandalorian or Lock and Key or whatever you're a fan of, and you sit there and you look at your friends and you go, oh my God, that'd be so funny. And maybe it's
fanfic. We're basically Tina with fanfic, but instead of butts and zombies.
Exactly. But that's exactly it. So Tina, of course, is a huge fan with her erotic fan fiction, and she'll mix all kinds of things. But as she quickly finds out, it's very rare that she finds anyone who is into it at all, let alone into it the way she is. So she goes on and happily makes...
They should totally have an episode where she meets another artist who's as into butts
there you go.
and
zombies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe they're into girl butts. You know what I mean?
But you know how they talk about frequencies that cancel each other out? If you had those go into harmony, it'd be like an explosion of butts and zombies.
Maybe that's part of it, though. Because they have the Henry Haber Right.
Yeah.
She and Henry definitely have the dorkathon.
Yes.
And they have that mutual respect for one another.
But to rewind, you come up with an idea like that, and you go, oh my god, it'd be so great if we did blank and blank, you did mashup. And TikTok is loaded, and YouTube is loaded with people who said, let's make an anime SpongeBob, let's take Archer and Bob's Burgers and slap them together. And there are so many ideas that while you're doing it, even if you have your friends or your family going, that's funny, I can't wait to see that. How many ideas have died, somewhere in some dark corner of the internet, unfortunately, because they had like 2 views and it just never tripped the algorithm, or it just never struck the zeitgeist, until it gets discovered like 10 years later. But we're working on this.
Well, for us, we don't really... I mean, this is the thing. We're so excited about this. We were kind of like, well, they may like it or they may not, but we're doing it anyway because it makes us happy. And it really does. And sometimes that's all that gets you through the day.
So the story of the week was realizing I needed to get off my butt because I've done a lot of the more fleshed out sketches for the family. Like, what do they look like, in the round or whatever it is. But for Eugene Krabs' Calvin Fish Odor, I only had this sketch here. So that meant sitting down and earlier this week going, okay, stop working on the rough animation. I need to work on my character building. And that meant having to have what he looks like from 3/4, what he looks like from profile, what he looks like facing 3/4 away, and then what he looks like directly from behind. Now, most of the animation, he's going to be talking directly to Bob, over the counter, whatever it is. He'll have a few moments where he's coming in. And obviously, you talk about areas where you can help yourself and repeat stuff. I mean, but something like this, you would think, okay, well, I would just take this and flip it. But his eye patch is only on this side. His pockets are only on, so you have to keep each of those things in mind and flip-flop and redraw. Is the patch
strand on the back? Does he...
Well, I haven't done that. I'm trying to figure out...
Is his more of a monocle? Yeah, his is more of a monocle, huh?
It kind of is, but that's actually a great point. I probably should draw the strand, and that's just a line. Yes. Because if you watch on Calvin Fish Odor, you will see it going into his hairline a little bit, but I don't think it shows up behind him. I think when he's facing away... No, it's under his hair. It's just kind of under the hair or tucked in by hair strands. So so they had to make the same decisions. It's like, how much is it too distracting from certain angles? But, great point. I will have to put on.
We have some great comments coming in. Hey, everybody who's here, by the way, if you're just coming in, we've got our new character drop here for all of you to see. Yep. Drop a comment for us. Where are you at in the world? We've got a poll going. We love to see, are you Team SpongeBob or Team Bob's Burgers? Or if you have another cartoon you're a big fan of. And if you're an animator, we'd love to know. We're always curious. Or an artist, an animator. I'm not, clearly. Anyways, here's some comments. First of all, DJ Dragon, thank you. DJ Dragon says, sick. Catherine Tuesday, Umi, hello guys. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for being here. Taylor says, have you thought about adding Mr. Krabs' quarter on a string?
Because I know it's funny to...
Hey, Bridge.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yes.
We've had plenty of moments where we'll watch episodes and we'll realize other parts. Yeah, the quarter on the string.
That's
it's pretty... It's like his wallet, his dime. There was actually. It's
a good idea.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing is that you can sometimes get just so swept up in all of it because.
But keep them coming if you want.
Exactly.
Just know that
but
on the sign a release.
Yeah, but in all honesty, we have gotten comments in the past where you sit there and you go, because for example. People, as we talked about Calvin Fish Odor, have said, "What about Felix? Felix Fish Odor?"
Oh,
and I just a couple of days ago, as I've been kind of playing with that thing, I found a way to sneak Felix in, which means also I'm going to have to do Zach Galifianakis's.
Hey, you didn't tell me about that.
I know. It's that new. It was yesterday afternoon. I'm studying, and so it just the light bulb went on.
I thought we were partners, man.
You weren't here.
Oh! Sorry, I was out scrounging for dollars. But whatever. Okay, sincerely, Logan says, you guys should have that one episode with his first dollar. I love that episode. Oh my god, we did too.
Yep.
And just so you know, the amount of time it's going to take just to make this one episode for a two-person crew,
yep.
Which again, one of which is the only drawer. Yeah. We'd love to make more down the road, but that may or may not happen. But we just love both of these shows so freaking much. So.
Yeah, and all these points are great.
Oh, Taylor says that she thinks Felix would be Mrs. Krabs.
Ah, interesting. So our big deal was in point of fact because of the great love we've received on TikTok in particular. Originally this was just going to be okay. We've got different mashups in mind. We've got some big surprises we may shift to, and we still got to realize what are we going to do when this episode comes out in September, because if it's crazy, do we do a second episode or do we shift gears and try one of the other things and try and see how that goes and then come back to this? Who knows? But an idea where you were there is we had a brief moment where one of us had a moment of doing something and made a comment that sprung off on me to make a comment on the comment, and then we realized that our own joke would fit perfectly in the world of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
So
a very Gene Belcher joke.
A very Gene Belcher joke. In fact, one where you just said, and you go, not only does it sound like exactly something that would be on Bob's Burgers, but why hasn't that line? It's like it's like one of those things where you go, someone has had to have made this observational joke before.
Yeah, so good.
And it might, but again, so we now have a new script of just those ideas that clearly are not going to go in this episode, but if we do another episode, at least moments, gags, whatever it is.
Now we have more thoughts. Mrs. Puff could also be Felix because Mr. Krabs loves Mrs. Puff. That's true, but we do need more of that fight between the two of them. Now I'm dying, and now I'm sitting here going, who's Felix going to be? Who's Felix going to be? New poll!
New poll. But although Mrs. Puff, we've already got her lined up. For those of you who have got a sharp eye during the opening title sequence, you will see Mrs. Puff / Miss LeBons appear.
Which is if you go to the Movie Boys profile, it's pinned.
Yeah.
The opening sequence. So anyone, because if you're just on the live checking this out, if you go, please follow, please subscribe, because
and follow hers too, because she's going to be doing a lot of rebrand. Well, she's in
a lot of rebranding.
A lot of rebranding.
Well, it's the same stuff, but hopefully, better. Anyways, but that's where you can see Mrs. Puff.
Yep.
Specifically. It's
great. Mrs. Puff, Miss LeBons. Because in the opening title sequence of Bob's Burgers, there's an infamous car crash that throws a utility pole into their front window on their reopening.
Reopening.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like a re because now in the last couple seasons they've got the water main exploding.
Oh my god, did any of you guys watch the Bob's Burgers movie? And if so, what did you think? I loved it. I mean, I am so sad that Jimmy Pesto's gone. I understand completely why they had to do it. Yep. But what I love about Bob's Burgers is their dance sequences, because I don't know who is their, what would you call, I guess they would have a choreographer. I need to find that out, because whoever their choreographer is who creates the dance movements of their characters, it feels so natural and it feels so right for these particular characters in this world. You know, it's just very, it feels so human but dorky and silly, and it just fits. And
someone said they haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Love Louise in it. Yes.
Yes. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I am a professional dancer. I did it professionally for years, and it's so wonderful when I see something in film or television that depicts dance in a really great way, that tells the story, and so many times it does not. The dancers can be dancing their faces off, but whoever's shooting it shoots it from an angle that doesn't show the, it's difficult to capture movement and quality and tell the story. That takes a talent. Always Sunny in Philadelphia did it amazingly. Yeah. But then, if you saw Umbrella Academy, they had this one scene where the couple is falling in love, and they're doing this really cute, quirky dance, and it was a cute dance, but the angles they were shooting it at, it's like they almost didn't want to capture these movements. Yep. And it felt awkward to me. That may have been what they were going for, but it just... So, anyways, yes, Bob's Burgers movie. I can ramble all day.
Yes.
Go see it.
Yep. So the next step, we leave Photoshop behind.
Lucky Ducks. Yep, Lucky Ducks. Such a good.
Lucky Ducks.
Yep. Well, no, they're talking about the Lucky Ducks dance sequence in the movie. It's so good.
Well, yeah, because otherwise, Dirty Ducks. Dirty Ducks is the Florida episode. Quack, quack.
Bridge says, hey, since George is wearing Cookie Monster, can you go get her some cookies, please, or food? That's right. Here's the moment where Georgia gets very hungry and leaves the stream.
Yep.
We're not there yet. Taylor says she loves the fact that Plankton is pesto. We could not agree more.
Yeah.
And he does a really good... I have to say this every time, but he does a really good... Oh, Ray says, oh my effing God, I love that. Yes, and Ray wants to see Plankton's design, so we may need to drop that in later. But listen, Ray, if you don't have time to see Ray... if we don't have time to show you... Are you showing him right now?
Well, let's see.
Because it's on... Movie Boy's profile, you can see a Plankton, a Jimmy Pesto Plankton reveal that's really good.
Because, like I said, with both Fish Odor and Plankton originally, I only had just this one sketch, just because you begin to work on.
You mean to make it bigger?
Well, I know. Well, the problem is that let's see, open up in Photoshop.
Just quickly, not only does he do a spot on Plankton voice, if you look at the voice actor who plays Plankton,
Mr. Lawrence,
they are like doppelgangers. It's Tom's kids and I used to laugh all the time. We're like, if the two of you meet, the whole universe is gonna.
Like we're both from the multiverse, and we crossed over at one point.
Seriously, it is uncanny. It is uncanny.
Well, yeah, and this is our first teaser because I can do his voice the most
Ray
easily.
Ray does want you to do the voice. So.
I'm not doing it. I don't want to.
Come on, Jimmy.
Come
on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy.
There
you can do it. Come on.
Karen, I don't really feel like doing the voice today. I have to go into it because
we haven't warmed up, people. It does take a little bit of. We're not the professional level.
Yeah. But the funniest thing about his voice is actually, to me, and I'd be curious to see where Mr. Lawrence pulls Plankton, because some of the other voices, like Fred with my leg. He's got a growl that comes a little bit louder. So I can get it, but I got to work into it. Yeah. But because for me, the Plankton voice actually comes from an old theater professor I had by the name of Dick Surmley, who I think has passed away by now because he's got to be ancient if he's still alive. But he'd the Italian guy. And he'd say, when you watch that play there, you realize who the protagonist is? And the funny thing is that obviously that's already on par with a Plankton-esque voice, and everyone in our theater department would have a Dick Surmley vocal thing there, and then so naturally, again, that weird thing where I swear to God, if Mr. Lawrence says Plankton's voice was actually from a professor I had back in my old college days, it's like, ugh. It's like, but when I was doing the original character sheets, I focused on the family, and then went, okay, you need to have sizing sheets so that you don't suddenly create a character completely out of scale.
Yeah. So
for me, it was working off the world of SpongeBob. How tall is Squidward compared to Mr. Krabs, compared to Patrick, compared to SpongeBob and Sandy and Gary? But then also realizing, okay, and Plankton obviously is very inconsistent. If you were to truly sit there and like measure, from episode to episode, even sometimes from shot to shot, sometimes Eugene can hold him very, very small. But then you look at a shot a little bit later when they're like moving in on him, and he's clearly bigger than he normally is.
But it works.
It works.
Okay, and somebody wants to see, when you're done with this, they do want you to go back to Mr. Krabs.
Oh, yeah.
They have a friend they want to show.
All right, here we go.
It's a coming.
So we left Photoshop behind once I'd drawn him, and you have different lines, to make sure that you don't suddenly start drawing him shorter and or taller, or getting something out of proportion from angle to angle. Then we bring him into animate. So here we go for even more fun stuff. And this is that Photoshop file brought in, and then every 25 frames I move it over and I mask it off. So what you end up with is basically kind of a spinnable Mr. Krabs.
There you go.
And you do this too to just kind of test and go, okay, as he rotates, did I in fact draw something so off it's just, you don't notice it until it's moving and you're going like, okay, wait a second, that makes no sense if his arm has to be here or his head needs to be here. But yeah, and then you start building the rig.
Then you spin him till he barfs
exactly
up coins. We need to also add in, look, we'll just go F nuts here, and we'll also add in Uncle Scrooge. They need to...
Which would randomly throw... Well,
At one point, they'll just dive into their pile of coin.
If Scrooge McDuck and Eugene Krabs were in the same room and there was a penny lying around, I think a nuclear explosion would probably result.
Taylor says your hair is gorgeous. If you're talking about his hair, you're right. That's kind of how we met. He walked past me. I kid you not. He walked past me, and I said, "Nice hair," because he has great hair. It is true. Anyways.
And if you think we're giggling, or you think we're fibbing about that, that is exactly how we met.
So people are asking about characters. So here, for everyone who's asking who's going to be which character, I could continue to answer this on the feed, but the better idea is quick pop over to the Movie Boy profile. Pinned at the top is the opening sequence of the show. Not everyone's in it, but you'll get a good sense of who the main characters are. And then if you scroll down, we've done a lot of character reveals, so you can see, because a lot of people are asking, who's Pearl going to be? Who's Pearl going to be?
Exactly.
She's on there. You can go find out. And people's wondering about Louise. Yeah, you'll see. So go check it out. Don't worry. We're here for another hour at least, hanging out and drawing.
Exactly.
And stuff.
Well, that was the thing, was that I because Movie Boy on YouTube has been kind of, very low res, maybe 100 views, whatever it is, for some of our previous animations. We didn't expect anything different. It's not like, someone like me. I'm not bringing something that is easily something where the algorithm and millennials and Gen Zs would cater to. At least that's what I thought. And all I did was that first video, and thought, okay, well, at least we're making the announcement, and maybe between now and September 3rd, we'll grow an audience and start bringing people in, and they'll go, oh, what's this? Instead, we end up with 1 million views on just that one screen grab of the background. So yeah, but it lit the fire underneath us, so that. Because we had just the month before done the temp tracks. We went to the vocal booth, we sat down and just read through the script. And no matter how good or how bad the reading was or hitting the voice right on, at least gave us the sense of, did we even have an episode there?
Timing, yeah.
Yep. And it turns out, okay, we've got an episode. It's about this long. Let's start doing it.
Oh, by the way, they weren't talking about either of our hairs. They were talking about... I love that you all are bonding in there. That is awesome. So, yes, they were actually making a compliment on another person in the feed who has beautiful hair, which I agree. Their hair is beautiful. So...
Wait, how are they seeing each other's...
They're talking to each...
Honey, that's how they do it now. They go, say, hey, @Sparrow, I like your hair, because they can see the profile pic and go, ooh. And you can click on their profile and go and look.
That's good. Very, very good
point. So they're making friends.
Yay!
Making friends,
Yay, friends
in the feed. We like it.
Oh.
Yep.
My, there we go.
Oh, Tara Strong is the bomb.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's all give a big hey-oh for Tara Strong.
Yep.
Whoop. Yeah.
I have not been fortunate enough to cross paths with her yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But life is weird. I've crossed paths with a lot of people. She's crossed paths with a lot of people.
I've dated a lot. Okay, we're not playing that game.
We're not going to play that game.
Nope, we're going to leave that one
aside. La.
Everybody has to put their pants on one leg at a time. And everyone has to take out the trash. And everyone poops. So the fact is, that whole Hollywood sheen of, oh my god, you know who? It's like, that's another human who poops. Anyways.
Maybe they don't.
If you're not pooping,
maybe the whole thing
maybe
the thing we don't hear about for the highfalutin celebrities and tech billionaires are just like they actually don't poop.
It's so true.
That would be the secret. It's like, and that's how they would be able to tell. It's just like, oh, so what was the last time you used the bathroom? Whatever it is, you need to use the bathroom, and then anyone who walks towards the bathroom at any point during the party, yep, and clearly that person poops. I don't think there is part of the club, and there's another comic thing right there, is how billionaires and how rich people and celebrities tell who's really in the club.
By poop?
No, but the fact that if they...
Sorry, I was looking at comments. I lost the track.
If you go, say, like a big shindig, all the like
Shindig or shitdig?
But the idea of... and the crazy thing is, all I hear now is Jack Black's voice always be recording. And we're recording. So if we ever come back to this idea... but the idea is, like, say the Met Gala. The Met Gala brings in all these people and everyone focuses on the fashion and everything else. But what's really going on in the Met Gala is they see which of the celebrities at some point go to the bathroom. And if they go to the bathroom, well, then clearly they haven't done what they don't know the secret of how the top celebrities and billionaires, they don't poop. Because of such and such procedure, whatever it is, some like mystical, magical thing that only the billionaires in the top 0.001% of the world have, and that's how they can tell.
I don't want to be a part of that. I like a good poop. It's very satisfying. Let's just...
Hey, no. I like a good poop. So what we're doing now is then obviously it turns into I've got the sketch. Now there are artists that will create their rigs purely right out of what they drew in Photoshop or Illustrator. But I keep it still kind of rough and just I like the freedom of kind of having it be a little bit more analog, a little bit more sketching and painting, whatever it is, as opposed to building the rig right from the get-go. If for no other reason is that if you see a moment that's a little off and you're going, that doesn't quite look, you look back at your reference. You look at Eugene Krabs or Calvin Fischoeder and you go, because for example, one of the things I'm kind of dealing with here is that if you look at Calvin Fischoeder's hair, it's a little more scrunchy. The lines are a little more raggedy, I think, to show that, maybe his age, or the fact that he doesn't have to have the most coiffed. I mean, it's Bob's Burgers. Almost everyone's hair, except for a degree to the kids, and like the women's hair is a little bit more fine line, but the guys it's usually a little bit more, pointy and misshapen and whatever it is. And so right now I'm trying to make up my mind about, do I keep this smoother line that seems to go with the rest of the way I've drawn Eugene Fischoeder, or do I decide to go back in and tweak it a little bit?
Yeah.
If you're working on the sketch, easy peasy, erase, redraw it is. But if you've done all the different angles of Calvin's hair and then you decide later, I should have this taller or wider or messier, you got to go back in and change all of it. But at some point, regardless of your method, you've got to start building him from angle to angle. So,
someone's making a request for some voices from me. Okay, so let me see what I can play with some things.
Which voices?
Well, okay, so we're going to try some things, but again, we aren't warmed up. And, maybe we need to start warming up.
I tried warming up a little bit before this.
Actually, I do have a little clip of me working on Gail in the voiceover booth on my channel. You have to scroll down a bit. It's also on my Insta. But let's see, what was she doing? What was she working on? She was thinking about... Wait. Letters from Scott Baio. Oh, things we should throw out into space. Happy things we should throw out into space.
Yep.
Letters from Scott Baio. A jar of mayo. And what else? And then she goes, little cat, you're just like me. You step outside and... you something and squat to pee. Squat! Hold on, I'm not done yet. Squat! Okay, now I'm done.
Yep.
And then she gets a little bit more like Linda, you really are so... That's not quite it. There I'm getting a little off. So it takes, again, just listening and then trying again, or listening and trying again. And so then, but that's so funny. Pearl is going to definitely be Gail's voice. So that is a break with everything else we're doing. We're both, so we both auditioned for the voices, and we're still fighting over who gets to do what. So, like, I tried Squidward, and it's, very Tina, if I'm gonna do Tina, Squidward, and she's very, which is interesting. If you notice, Tina and Squidward both have kind of a more monotone feel in a lot of their approach. But the one I really want to do, I really want to do Patrick.
Yep.
What are we gonna do? It gets, but then I lean a little bit. Mine starts to lean into the Cowardly Lion. Somehow, my Patrick always starts sounding like the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz. Oh, oh my God. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, guys. So, anyways, those are some things I'm playing with. But, yes, it is only the two of us, Dwayne. We're doing all the voices and we're playing with all of them. It's so much fun. If you want to do, yes, thank you, Squat Squat. I agree. Squat Squat. That's right, Deo. Thank you, Sparrow. It starts with Deo. And then letters from Scott Baio and a jar of mayo. I just love it. Yeah. Anyway, so the rest of them, it's funny. I mean, because so if you don't know, I voiced the character Chromia on Netflix's animated series Transformers War for Cybertron. There's a lot of different Transformers animated series across the universe, but this is specifically the War for Cybertron animated series on Netflix, and I got to play Chromia, the badass assassin. It was amazing, and they've definitely roboticized my voice. You can hear there's that, they've tweaked it, but it was so much fun. But boy, when you are voicing, and I've done other things, I've worked on video games and things like that, when you're doing it for a full session, even just a couple of hours, it is a workout. We forget sometimes that our voice is a muscle, and it needs to be cared for. You need to stretch it. You need to warm it up. You need to cool it down. You need to maintain it. And it can get worn out. So it's so much fun and so challenging.
Yep.
And we're so excited. We're so excited. Anyways. Your little brother loves that series. Right on. Yeah, it's a really hardcore, serious, dark. Just dark.
Yeah, there's like a lot of moments where it's just like Cybertron is.
There was no smiling in that.
No,
let me tell you.
Rarely, not much comedic relief. Yeah,
even my sarcastic moments, it was still just no happiness.
It's all serious.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let's talk about.
You talk. I'm getting. You want some more coffee?
I would love some more coffee.
Okay. We're getting coffee. You talk with Tom, and so now you're in charge. And here, do you need this so you can read up close?
Yeah, maybe.
Put that in the wherever you want.
Yeah, because if I start hitting keys, I'm gonna shut down my.
Room here, so you can do what you
no
need to do.
way.
Well, I'll be back.
Hello, Riley.
Wait, I gotta be back. Gotta go.
Hello, Sparrow. Gotta go. Gotta go. You don't need to say gotta go.
Well, I'm nervous.
Gotta go. So part of this obviously is that it's Bob's Burgers, and Bob's Burgers is much more dialogue heavy. So it's not like it's very rare to have dance numbers. Although famously, in the shows like Bob's Burgers, not South Park, the Central Park on Apple TV, and then of course Great North. Is it Great North? Up North? Good Lord. Or the Good North. I'm sure someone's like, oh, and our poll came in. Oh, our poll came in differently this time. The 30-minute poll this time said I'm Team SpongeBob, had 42.86%. Team Bob Burgers, 14.29%, and both 42%. So that's a totally different one. We will start another poll. Same poll. Let's see. Great North, thank you. One of the next pieces to do, because there's going to be so many lines, is you've got to do all of the mouth shapes. The visemes, if I'm saying that correctly. I've never heard anyone actually say it. But it's all the vowels and consonants that a character will say across the animation. And also all the emotions. So even if they're saying the same letter, are they angry? Are they sad? Are they happy? Are they, ecstatic? So a lot of the work comes down to, let's bring up the mouth. So we're going to bring this in, and I'm going to break out a piece here, the frame picker. Ta-da! So the frame picker in Adobe Animate is a great addition they added, I think, a few years ago. Because it used to be like an add-on. People would say, download this, it'll make your life easier. And I think Adobe finally went, oh, yeah, right, and just brought it in. But it's the idea that, and I've got little captions here for a lot of it. Front smirk, front smile. And a lot of them are just numbers. They don't have the notes, which is interesting. But the idea here is that, and the other part of it, too, is that not only is it what letter and consonant, or are they sticking out their tongue? Are they're sitting there neutrally looking? Are they like dumbfounded? But not only do you have to have it happy, sad, angry, all that stuff, but then as soon as they rotate on most character models, it will look different. So you have to do them all over again, which can be a little insane inducing. So we've got all the different. Let me see. Let me make sure. So we are currently on frame 4, but so we're going to show as we go through these. So there's a neutral. There he is with a smirk. Open mouth smile with the teeth. Just a general happy smile. This is him saying the letter A or ah, E. And an interesting thing with Krabs is that he will actually do a lot of his talking without showing any of the teeth. Usually with a lot of characters, even if typically Krabs don't have teeth, or at least that kind of teeth, you'll see the teeth appear a great deal across different letter shapes. But for some reason, they decided with Eugene to just... The only time they tend to bring in his teeth is either for accentuating, like he's got a big smile or a big shock, or if it's a vowel or a diphthong or something like that, where the only way you can make that sound is to bring your teeth in, like when you're hitting a T and you're bringing your tongue in against there, or an L or a V. When you involve the teeth, then Eugene Krabs' teeth will show up. So let's see. So this is, I think, the DTS kind of thing, where the teeth will come in and the tongue shows up because it's hitting the back of the teeth. And then more strongly on L, or what's the other one? There's another one there. Coffee! Oh, thank God! We've already gone into our second art. Chink, chink. And go.
You're welcome. What did I miss?
I am talking about mouth shapes.
Oh!
All the things. And again, I'm telling myself, part of these things that we do in this show is and the great back and forth of TikTok is that realization that if I decide on Tuesday, I had a little Post-it note here. And I think I tossed it, but I just wrote a little Post-it note of like, wait, we'll do a big reveal of Fish Odor, because I need Fish Odor to start working on the rough animation. Let's build them out. And if I do a reveal, if I tell myself I'm going to do a, hey, we're going to reveal tease on Thursday for Sunday's show, then that it makes you go, oh, well, I guess I got to get it done now. Because as any artist or creator knows, or even just the projects you're doing around the house, if it's not really on fire right now, maybe I'll just, there's a new series on Netflix, or I'm just tired. But you go on to TikTok and you say, coming Sunday, we'll be doing the reveal of a main character. It's like, okay. Yeah. So that also meant that I wanted to do more than just have one frame. Like one frame of him smiling. Ta-da! That's a big reveal. It's like, okay, that's not a reveal. So I thought, okay, work on all these things. So there we've got, this is the LN. That's the FV sound. This is the O sound and the OO sound. Then start doing it all over again with a more sad thing. So sad A, sad E, sad DTS, sad L. What is it? L? What is the other L?
Yeah, it looks like L.
Yeah, but there's another. I want to say there's another. For some reason, it's not shown up here in the notes, and I don't want to dig into the file. And then another FV, and then I start playing with like other.
Someone's making cinnamon rolls. Oh my god! I love making cinnamon rolls from scratch. Are you doing scratch? Listen, no shame. Out of the can is also delicious. But I'm jealous, and I wish I could crawl through the screen and have some of your cinnamon rolls. That sounds really wrong, but I'm talking about the cinnamon rolls. Yep. I see that earlier y'all were talking about Great North a little bit. Oh my god, yeah. They're saying that they wanted to like it but couldn't. I agree. Did you already discuss Great North?
No. It was just simply talking about how Bob's Burgers is typically dialogue heavy, but does break into song and dance rarely.
Yeah. Great North is a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, I think I get the feeling the creators really, like, they've got, like, Sing Along with Bob and the family. So it's interesting, like, when Bob's Burgers first started, we like more of the really wacky songs, that are like lifting up the skirt of the night or buttworms, da da da. We love those, but when they launch into those songs where it's just sort of one tone and it's Bob going, I think I'm going to da.
Well, here I think
we don't like those. As much.
I think there's a delineation here. So there is.
How do you explain it?
Well,
it doesn't mean we don't love Bob's Burgers,
Yeah.
and obviously a lot of people do love it because they keep making them.
The issue here for me, what I was realizing is like, okay, why do I like this Bob Burgers song and not this one? And what is kind of the line that I'm feeling out as I go, no, yes, no, yes. So what's interesting is that the idea for there's a methodology, because I'm from musical theater, so big surprise. But the idea usually of why music appears. Or why music or dance appears in a movie where it was people talking, and I can't phrase the thing exactly, so forgive me, it's going to be a bit of a paraphrase, but it's the idea that when the emotion in dialogue is so much that you can't say it, you sing it. And when you can when the emotion is so much you can no longer sing it, you dance it. And it's the idea that it's an escalation of the feelings that just bring you to suddenly song.
Well, the one that works is when Bob's kids start making burgers and he's like, this is all I've ever wanted, and then it cuts back to him. Well, that one works.
There's the delineation I'm getting at here is that I think there's a big difference between, because so lifting up the skirt of the night,
that's more like a song about what's happening.
Well, but that's exactly what it is. Is that so? It's a lot of the ones that you and I typically like are songs kind of about something and a clever angle on it. So, Electric Love is a clever, weird song about Thomas Edison and Topsy the Elephant,
love that
and
one.
playing with the idea that, despite the fact that one killed the other, that they ended up making a romantic thing instead because of the way it's just funnier for Gene to write this as Electric Love. So it's about something. But I think where it typically slips is where it's just simply a character going, I feel like this, and now I feel like that. And I think the inspiration of how they communicate it's something because it's more about the character.
It's sweet.
And sometimes it works.
Yeah. Well, the first one I remember is the "This Is Working" when Linda goes and gets a job at Fresh Feed.
Yes.
And it's like, this is working, this is working. Duh. And since it was the first one, I didn't mind it. But now,
it's the first one like that. But if I remember correctly, the first song is Bad Things Happen in the Bathroom.
Nope, that's later.
That is later.
I think it's later.
Okay, so Fresh Feed might be the first.
But I like Bad Things Happen in the Bathroom.
But again, it's about something, and even when they go fancier because they work in.
There's more musicianship in it too. I don't know. It's just
there is on that one because you do have Louise doing a counter melody about her feeling regret for having done the glue.
He'll be out of there in no time.
Yeah, and there's a blending of their two melodies later,
Yes.
which shows musicianship, but they've done that on recent seasons where the artistry is appreciated, but the song itself still lets it down.
Yeah, it's just so I feel like with Great North, that's all it is. And my bigger issue with Great North, and again, I'm like, we were all in, we watched a lot of it.
Yep.
They're really sweet characters, but it feels like everybody gets along and everybody loves each other all the time, and there are no stakes. Now, Bob's Burgers is super positive, but they're all quirky, weird, sometimes unlovable characters. I mean, the thing I love about Linda is you either love her or hate her. They did a whole episode where it was figuring out where they couldn't find Linda on her birthday. I'm going to get to them. And it's like, you either love her or you hate her, but she's true and has a big heart, and that's what a true family is. With Great North, it's like, they're all just... I just don't get it. Okay,
All right, so there was a question about the Invincible behind it. So this is a standee I made for Amazon. I do a lot of promotional work, so So what was fun working on Invincible, it was doing a lot. But they
Are you friends with any of the people on the Invincible series?
Unfortunately, no.
Not that one.
So in this one, it was the idea was that Amazon came to the company I work for and wanted to do, because I've done that for Invincible and Vox Machina, where. They obviously, these are cartoons, and in the case of Invincible, off of literal comic books. from Image Comics or Image Comics. And they wanted to do what they call activations, which is basically like you go to all the comic book stores they wanted to across the nation and set up these standees and posters and little gift bags. And I think there were like beer mugs, plastic beer mugs with the Vox Machina logo for them, and pins and stuff.
Love Vox Machina.
So you'll see here the standee. So imagine you came into a comic book store, and down here on the bottom, you can see there's like a little Invincible Amazon original, March 26th from Prime Video.
Yep.
And so and it was funny, we were talking earlier about draw-overs, and this was from a shot. There's a moment where he's coming into his own, and he flies into the city, and he has a moment where he just kind of pauses in this pose, and I went, that'll be perfect. But for people who work in print materials, just because it looks good on a little digital screen in Photoshop or Animate or wherever it is, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work on a billboard. Yeah. So part of this was basically rebuilding him to vectorize him in Illustrator so that I could stretch him up to life size and then send that off to a printer to do the cutouts and stuff like that. And
Someone's asking, Game Edits is asking, is the comic better than the show? I don't know. I haven't read that comic.
I've read chunks of the comics, and I've seen all of season 1.
Is there gonna be a season 2?
Yes, supposedly.
God, I love the concept.
In fact, there was
like
there was a teaser. There was a teaser that came out with the Seth Rogen character.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Who plays the alien? Who's talking with? I think his name is Sam. I'm trying to remember if Invincible's real Clark Kent name is Sam or not. The comic, I think the comic is very much like it. It's not as kind of a gritty difference that there is for, say, like The Boys, where The Boys comics lean really into just making it like kind of gritty and filthier and stuff like that, and they kept a lot of that attitude, but it is definitely not as it's just like.
Would you feel it's more of the story is upsetting because his dad's gonna basically?
Yeah, but they're
not going into the detail.
But no, I think if I recall correctly, because you do it real quick. It's like when all of a sudden Invincible comes, it's like you suddenly grab your in this case grab my iPad and open up some apps and started downloading previous anthologies. When they do like issues 1 through 12 in a collection, and you just breathe through real quick, because there was something else I just did for Apple TV. It was for Surfside Girls. It was a live action based off of a comic, and that's when you really want to go, wait a second, what was the comic like? And it was very much more of a very illustrative, almost like a children's kind of thing.
I still want to get into your comics. I just need to get the right gloves. He has like a huge collection of comics, and I'm somebody, I mean, you can't necessarily see all of our room, but we have tons and tons of books. We love books. We love books, comics, magazines.
You can see all the shelves behind us.
We love the tactile. We also have Audible. We also read things online, but there's something really great about the tactile. But with his comics, again, this is a collection, and I keep going, I'm going to start to read one, and then I'm like, oh, wait, don't touch the comics unless the comic owner is present, because, I'm not as aware of which one is your super deluxe, secret, rare, never been touched before, and I don't want to put my oily fingers on it.
Autographed by the creators.
Right, and, I mean, he's so, like, for me, I love a book, I'm going to read it, I'm not gentle with all of my books, because I read them, but he's all like, don't crease the spine, don't do the Yep. And and I get it. I am like my Ray Bradbury autographed anthology. Yeah, I'm careful with that book. I love Ray Bradbury. His short stories.
Since we're all about the Spider-Verse lately.
There you go.
This is the limited edition Ultimate Spider-Man collection, which I think came out in the early 2000s. And so originally I got who did I get to sign this? I want to make sure I've got the proper names here, that I'm not just trying to read some old scribble. The creators. Let's see, art, Mark Begley, and Brian Michael Bendis. And Bendis is a big name in there. So I've got Bendis.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I think I got art here. But the autograph I'm really happy about, through a weird set of circumstances, is the top one there. This guy by the name of Stan Lee. So Stan Lee, I did meet briefly once at July 4th, locally not too long ago. He was brought in for that, and I got a brief autograph on that. But this is, I got lucky with one of my good friends is a person who was an editor with Animation Magazine. At the time, he was a features writer for Variety, because I was at Variety for 4 years.
Yeah, right.
And Stan, I think Stan Lee was supposed to be at this signing, and for whatever reason, he couldn't make it. But
you almost met him?
Well, no, I've met Stan Lee.
Ah, someone here is saying Stan Lee is amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, he's met Stan Lee.
So the idea behind this is that Stan couldn't make it to the Barnes & Noble signing for this, but my friend who I've known for years, I haven't talked to him in ages, but he happened to have an interview with Stan Lee a week later, whatever it was.
Wow.
And he brought his copy and this copy, and I think Jeff's copy as well.
So got him on.
And what's funny is that because I don't know what the event was, but there was a Getty Images photographer there as well who was just photographing it, and while he was signing it at Getty Images, so I think there's a photograph somewhere of him signing my book.
Wow.
You know, because I wasn't able to just like walk in and go. Hee.
You know what's crazy? Actually, Patton Oswalt is involved with a whole comic thing right now, and I just have not had time to really dig into it, but he does signings like all over LA. I have got to get to one of them.
Yep.
But I need to get into the comic because it's just so posery just to show up and go, "Hi Patton, I like you. I haven't read this cool comic that you're doing yet, but hi." It's like,
Yep.
That's such a douchey move.
That's
like,
actually how I met Mark Hamill.
Is that how? Hi, Mark Hamill. I haven't watched Star Wars
No,
yet. But I like you.
No.
That's what it'd be like, dude. Come on.
This is in the 90s, in the early days of San Diego Comic-Con. Apparently, San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of the major players like Netflix, Marvel, and others are not doing San Diego Comic-Con this year, which may kill it the way E3 was killed when Sony and Nintendo and
You can't be serious. Why aren't they doing it?
I saw a headline flash by like when I was doing a Google search, whatever it was. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if this is still the aftermath of the pandemic.
You can't keep nerds down. I'm sorry, but
I know.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, when these big conglomerates get too big for their britches, then the nerds, we get together and we just start a new thing somewhere else. We start another club.
Exactly.
Hard on you guys.
But the whole thing with Mark Hamill, this is in the middle of the 90s. So Star Wars coming out, let alone prequels. We were in the there hadn't been
the desert times.
We're in the desert times. This is miles before Disney Plus, miles before Mandalorian, miles before him coming back to reprise Luke in any form. So we're talking, it had been roughly 13, 14, 15 years since Return of the Jedi. So
we just watched those three over and over and over and over.
So by then Mark had been known as the Joker. He had started doing Joker with Kevin, if I remember. I'm losing names, but the guy who did Batman in the Batman animated series. So, but he came to Comic-Con, and Comic-Con wasn't quite as crazy Comic-Con. It was still long lines in San Diego, but it wasn't as insane as it eventually became. I haven't been to Comic-Con in ages. I've had a lot of my coworkers do it every year. So he was just doing a comic back then called The Black Pearl, and he was there to talk about that, and of course people were asking about Joker and Luke and all that kind of stuff. But the crazy thing that I wish we were in the iPhone era back then, because I had this rare moment where coincidentally Kenny Baker, who played R2D2,
do you spell Gallifrey with one L or two L's? I always forget.
That thing's hanging right there.
Oh,
the
thank
Gallifrey
you.
thing.
Thank you. Okay, you keep talking.
But
just spell it right.
So I had a moment where I watched, Luke and R2 bump into each other for the first time in Lord knows how long, and I was like, "Where's the camera? Where's the camera?" And
always be recording.
Always be recording. But that was just one of those happy moments where, I'm
very jealous you've met Mark Hamill.
Yep.
That's again,
and I've got an R2D2 signed by Kenny Baker. I think Peter Mayhew was also there, and then Jeremy Bulloch, who played the original Boba Fett.
These are the upsides of being older.
Well, here's the deal. So you see, I've got a Boba Fett T-shirt on. But this is actually, I think, from Seagraph in the 90s, because the back of it is Industrial Light and Magic. This was their shirt at their kiosk that they were giving away, back in the mid-90s, and I thought, just whip it out.
Oh, Taylor says I sound like female Seth Rogen when I laugh. Oh, I love that compliment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are we now? We're at 11:30, so we're down to our last 30 minutes already. I have no idea how we're doing. We've got some likes, we got some people, we got some champions.
We're having a great time, dude.
We're having a blast with you guys.
Come on. I feel like, look, this is something great to know. I mean, because...
Hello, Emma Rose.
Emma Rose joined. What's up? Listen, I do stand-up. Some nights, it's a packed house. Some nights, it's like 2 people. And my feeling is, if it's 2 people or 2,000 people, it's always a great time. So we love it. We've had times when we're doing these live streams where there's over, we're still in the hundreds of people phase. But and then there's times where it's like 2 people are in the...
Exactly.
Doesn't matter, man.
Exactly.
Have fun with it.
It's Sunday morning. It's chill. We got chill music. We're working on chill stuff.
Freaks and Geeks. Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks.
If you like that, there's a really great podcast I recommend. It's called Dead Eyes, and it's about this actor. If you just want to find the one episode where of the podcast Dead Eyes, they bring Seth Rogen on and interview him, and he talks about Freaks and Geeks. And there's another podcast where they bring Judd Apatow on. Now I can't remember that one, but Judd Apatow was talking about making Freaks and Geeks and just how it was just so frustrating that it didn't go as far as it did, but that's kind of the whole point of it. It's Freaks and Geeks, Oh my god. Anyways. Yep. So good. Yes, we are all besties here. What's up? Yep. Besties. Best better believe bet. Yep. You bet.
All right, so that actually show a little bit of the work here for the newer folks who are coming in.
Why is his nose a lightning squiggle? Every time I see Crab's nose, I keep wanting to clip over to a lobster photo, and I have yet to see a lobster with a squiggle nose. What is that?
Don't know.
We need to know what inspired the lightning nose. We call it a lightning nose, a squiggle nose. What do you? Is it a nose or is it just one of his feelers?
For me, it resembles a lightning bolt too. But yeah, and I don't even know how often on crabs if they even have real crabs if they even have anything that I'm sure they might. Well, in the animal world, you always get surprised by creatures who are missing a sense or color range or have magical powers where they can punch harder than a nuclear bomb and like that mantis shrimp.
Mantis shrimp. That's right.
That sees
oh my
God. A whole kaleidoscope of color and.
If you guys don't know, there's the most amazing. He's so good. This comic guy, an artist, and his I'm stuttering. I'm so excited. The Oatmeal. Go find The Oatmeal. He's actually, I think, made a point not to do social media, so now you go to his website, you can see all of his cartoons, or comics, I guess. They're comic strips. He has a Far Side kind of feel to him, if that makes any sense. But his stuff is hilarious. He has a whole book called Why My Cat is Better Than Your Baby. But then now, apparently, he's had a baby with his wife, so he's having to kind of tweak his thoughts on it. I think he probably still thinks cats are possibly easier to manage than babies, we'll put it that way. But highly recommend it. The Oatmeal. Go check it out.
Yep.
Oh my god, so good.
So all I've been doing while she's been talking, just clicking through how once again, the moment you rotate a character's head, you got to do all the mouth shapes all over again. So we have our smile, our open mouth. I start realizing that if I don't start coming up with a repeatable pattern that I can do from character to character to character. I would honestly love to see how a big time show that's going to go into multiple episodes. Be curious to just kind of sit over the shoulder and see the pipelines that develop to make sure, because even in our own work, even things like how you name a file, how you name a layer, so that if you're handing it off to someone else, they'll know exactly how to drill in to alter, move, enunciate, emphasize, whatever it is. Yeah. And then and the epitome of software these days is Toon Boom Harmony, which is very expensive. Well, not ungodly expensive, but I can't afford to have another subscription model on top of my Adobe model and everything else we subscribe to. But the idea is that is definitely for hardcore animation. and they have even what's called a nodal structure. And usually you don't start dealing with nodes unless you're dealing with 3D animation or high-end compositing, which is ultimately what you end up doing, where they'll build rigs so complex that it will just instinctively know that if you grab a slider and you want to rotate the character or bend it this way, it will automatically, for example, have the sleeve compensate for things like bends and lines not intersecting, so you don't have to erase it that way. When you animate that character for basic animation, you have everything covered. You can actively just rotate the character and just rotate it and go and rotate it and go and do lip sync and go. Adobe Animate drops the ball on a lot of this stuff. I mean, they've been bragging recently about increasing what they call the rigging, but the way they approach connecting and doing the skeleton of a character so that it knows that, for example, if you move the hand, that the elbow will start doing this and not doing this. Or that you can create constraints so that an arm can't go, if it's a human character at least, go beyond what a human being can do. But there's something Adobe just does. It adds a feature that you think fantastic. It'll be just like in Blender or Unreal or something like that, and then you try and use it and you find out, well, it only works on this kind of thing, but not that kind of thing. It only works if it's a symbol instead of hand-drawn. It only works if it's this instead of it's this. Oh, they all got to be on the same layer. And it just breaks up your workflow. I had to go back and totally redo Bob and a couple of the other characters because you'll I mean, I know I'm into the weeds here but it's just things where all of a sudden something breaks, like you connect the face and the eyes to the head, and you connect the head to the body. And you think, great, anywhere the body goes, the head will follow. Anywhere where the head will go, the mouth and the eyes will follow. And then there are all these moments where I change one thing, like changing these mouth shapes, and sometimes it will say, oh, I guess you don't want that skeleton anymore. And then all of a sudden, massive amount of work where now the head and the eyes have all moved completely off each other, and you go, okay, how do I get this to not undo the last 30 minutes of work or last 2 hours of work? So
hey, we have a question.
Yes,
from Ray Rose. Says, if I want to get into animation, where should I start?
YouTube is, and I'm not sure, because since TikTok still has a limitation on how long a video can be, it's still a short form thing. YouTube. And then that is easily the easiest thing.
What do you mean by YouTube?
Well, the idea is to there are now that YouTube has been around now for it'll be 20 years next year. Yeah. It is deep enough that that you can just go on YouTube and just going beginner animation. Animation techniques, rules of animation, principles of animation, and
draw your first cat.
Yeah, bouncing ball, frame-to-frame animation. You'll start learning the lingo, and it'll fine-tune your searches in YouTube. But the reason why I say that is free. And here's the great thing: as you start coming across creators who have, they're using the animation that I do, what they teach, you can apply to other stuff, and you follow along. Oftentimes, a lot of them, they're trying to sell stuff as well. So maybe they have a newsletter, or maybe they have a Patreon, or maybe they have whatever it is. But I will kid you not, my email is loaded to the gills with the newsletters that come out from a lot of creators. And not to be a Eugene Krabs, but I like free.
There's so much you can do. You don't have to pay. Look, if you find something you really love, what's great is you really can sort of like the teacher. That's what's great about YouTube. You sign up for their newsletter, you follow them for a while, and then some of them, they get really pushy with and on sale for today only for special subscription. You're like, okay, you're really pushing the sales side. I don't like that. Go away. But other creators will really offer you a lot of good free content. Yeah. And then you're like, this is my new sensei. Now I will give you money for your special course.
So
it's really cool.
So as far as like getting into it, the the easiest thing. One of the easiest things, because I mean, I sit here with one of the big things that led into this whole thing for 2023 is that I did one more heist, as it was. Okay, looks like we're getting a little bit of a YouTube streaming error, a little lag, but it'll be fine.
Whack, whack.
Whack, whack. We'll see if that breaks or not, but we'll monitor it. But oh, and the poll is back. Which SpongeBob is your favorite? And both still win. So
Love
it's a one quarter SpongeBob, 1/4 Bob's Burgers, and half of them say both.
Woo.
Okay, looks like no data. This stream will end shortly unless you restart your streaming software.
Don't worry about them. That's okay.
Oh, well, if we lose the YouTube, our apologies. There's only 20 minutes left. So we'll see. But maybe it already cut off.
Well, let's just quick say to the YouTube people, if it's still going.
Oh, it looks like it's stuttering. But by YouTube, in case we lose you.
If we lose you YouTubers, just know, please be sure to subscribe to the TikTok channel as well. That's where a lot of the new content is jumping up.
Yep.
It's _movie boy.
Exactly.
Same purple cow. Just look for the purple cow. And if you're not a TikToker, okay, that's fine. You stay right there where you are on YouTube. We'll have stuff coming up there as well.
Okay, so but as far as getting into animation, so
Yes.
one of the big shifts for me was finally back in 2019. I got a little bit of a bonus money and finally got my first iPad. Now this is actually the second one in the old case because I used it so much I broke it.
You killed it.
I killed it. Like the pencil wouldn't respond anymore, and I found out that it truly broke.
It was truly loved.
Yeah, it was truly loved. But you want easy peasy? Procreate. Procreate, I think, is only $4.99.
Yep.
Toon Squid, which I did a brief video on earlier in the year,
so good.
Which is only $9.99. Do not spend money you do not have. But this was an entry level, so this is like only a 9th generation entry level, except for a little more memory. So I got like the 128 or 256, whatever it is they sold now.
I'm doing a photo for
You're doing
Twitter.
a photo for?
You keep talking.
I keep talking. So the concept here is entry level iPad, which with the $99 first gen pencil, this was a little bit hefty. It was $500, but I would sit and in Procreate, I would sketch and sketch and sketch and sketch and sketch, and started just getting my style going again. I don't do a lot of. I used to do a lot of illustrative work in the 90s and 2000s, but more of my work lately has been just working in Photoshop or Blender or stuff like that. So I had to kind of get back on the bicycle and get back into being comfortable drawing. But Procreate is awesome. Procreate is inexpensive, and so. Speaking of the free stuff, so you start doing searches and you follow channels for Procreate. Lightbox Expo, which if you're out in the West Coast, that's in Pasadena. That is the Animators Expo, which despite being a paid ticket for the last few years, I have not yet actually physically been in the Pasadena Convention Center. Georgia went last year and kind of was my emissary. I was here working on a project that gave me enough money to buy a really good tablet. I've got a Huion 24 4K tablet. That's what I'm using down here to draw on. Got a Mac Studio, upgraded everything so that I could really sit and draw on a professional level. But for the years leading up to this, you better believe it was sitting here with more inexpensive items, an entry-level iPad, and just scribbling away like crazy. And Procreate has got some good rudimentary animation tools that'll help. The problem is you can't work with sound yet with Procreate. So if you're doing, someone talking, you've got nothing to lip sync, and that's why I recommend Toon Squid, because it's got pieces that you usually would have to pay for Adobe Animate for or other software for. And I am really tired of everything becoming a subscription model right now. I think a lot of apps should just be like Procreate, one and done.
Yeah.
I mean, if they eventually create a version that was very expensive for them to build and they want people to update, I can understand that. But paying $4.99 a month for one iPad app is, even if you're using it on a daily basis, it's like, it's on top of Netflix, on top of Adobe, on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Let's see, we are down to our last 15 minutes. So we will be closing up shop soon. So hello to Harry, who just came on in.
Hi, Harry.
Let's see. Someone said, "Yep." Oh, that's you
That's
talking.
me responding. Yeah, Taylor's saying that they only they color on paper.
Yeah.
Ray said that they just got their first 2-in-1 computer tablet coming with drawing stuff, so that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever works. Here's the thing, and this is something that we struggle with as creators. One of the easiest ways to procrastinate is that idea of perfectionism of, oh, well, I just need this app. Oh, well, I just need to get this software. Oh, well, I just need to read this book first, and then I'll start writing my screenplay, drawing the thing. You can find a million reasons to procrastinate, and there's nothing wrong with getting more education and learning more things as you go, but don't let it stop you from making the thing. And listen, heads up, anytime you start something out, when you're first starting, it's all gonna suck, and it's okay? Let it suck. That's my big thing, is just let it suck, because you're breaking through that to then you try again, it gets a little better, and it's not just a straight, whatever you call that, not vertical, diagonal trajectory. It's like when, you're climbing Mount Everest. You go up, and then you go sideways, and then maybe you fall back a little bit, then you go up a little bit more, and then you plateau for a bit, you take a break, you have a snack, then you go up a little bit more. Whatever it is, that's all part of the process, and it's okay. It was so hard for me to break through the perfectionism cycle of just, if it's not perfect, I'm just going to throw it away. I give up. I can't. And other people in your life will try to tell you, like, you're not good enough, or, it's supposed to be. Listen, they may have good intentions, but most likely they're talking about themselves and projecting it on you. Don't let them stop you, okay? Keep going. Anyways, that's my little...
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Make art. Make stuff. Get it out. The more you get it out of you, the better you're going to feel, I'm telling you. That's my 2 cents. So there. Yep. I could talk about that all day. Good
Exactly. Well, that's what's great about having
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, I was just realizing I had something that's a little bit. It's still out of alignment here. Is that the head is just subtly off the body?
Oh, wow! Look at that. I wouldn't even notice that.
Yep. Well, I fixed it here, and so now it's. And by the time he turns, it's a little thick there too.
Okay.
Well, I mean, again, that's why I'm kind of a little peeved with Adobe, because you would think. There's a whole section over here. Yeah, it's out of the shot for TikTok. But there's a whole section here where you can build a node tree of parenting. So that.
Wait, what's a node tree?
A node tree is just branches.
Okay, branches. There we go.
So in this case, our tree here, logically speaking, would be a lot of times when you build a character in 3D, like in the Spider-Verse and whatnot. You usually start with the torso, because in fact, this is an old thing my dad used to coach in basketball. This has got to go. So the
torso doesn't lie.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of part of it, so you don't get like totally thrown by, he's moving.
Well, they're gonna try and fake you out with the ball over here, and so you immediately your eyes want to go, that's where they're going, but it's like, watch their hips. Nope, the hips are going that way.
Yep.
So you just
So in typical rigging. In 3D or in 2D, you usually start with the torso, the center, and the center spine, and then the legs are attached to the torso, the shoulders attached to the body, the neck is attached, the head is attached, the eyes are attached to the head, the hair is attached to the head, the pupils are attached to the eyes, the lids are attached to the eyes, the mouth is attached to. So you just create this whole branching tree. That way, when you just simply want to move your character from side A to side B, you just grab the torso, and everything will come on along with you. Unfortunately, the issues I described earlier is that there are easy ways for you to break that tree in Animate. So the upshot is that I just have to be more mindful now that when I move something over, I got to then relook at the alignment to make sure that the eyes weren't left behind, or the stalks, or the pupils, all that stuff. But the good news is that we're not doing, where this is not like anime where we've got wild camera movement and all that stuff. Although a lot of that isn't necessarily rigged either. Although a lot of that is getting more 3D as well. So even in the world of Blender, in animation circles, something that has had I'm not sure how much of it's a niche and how much of it is becoming more commonplace, but you use the grease pencil. So you're in a 3D app, but you're drawing in 2D to get 3D results. So the upshot is that if you have a 2D person running down the street, but the street was built in 3D, so you're not drawing the same building, frame 1, frame 2, frame 12, frame 37.
Hi, YouTuber.
Hello, YouTuber.
Yes, go ahead.
Is just that concept of being able to have a palette where you can work in both worlds. Right now, for example, this shot is working with just simply, and you can count, this is actually an outdated painting right now.
Hold on, just hide your thingy in case they make a comment on the YouTube and we can respond. Just in case if
Just
you're there
in
on YouTube and you
case
want
there's
to
a
make a
comment.
comment. Okay, good.
Yep.
That's all right. You can lurk.
We can
We're
just...
my lurkers.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, we're already to the last 10 minutes already. Good.
Womp, womp, womp.
Because we go, oh, it's a Sunday.
Because you're going to shoot my thingies.
Yes.
He helps me with my tiki-talks. Mm-hmm. Tiki-talks.
What you're seeing back here behind Eugene on this older form is the drop sink and the dishwasher from Bob's Restaurant. But I decided later on that when we do go into the kitchen, it is much more like SpongeBob's kitchen, laid out in the way that Bob has it. So where the fryer is, where the grill is, whatnot. But all those pieces are very much like SpongeBob's things. That means there is no industrial dishwasher. There is no spray nozzle back there.
You keep saying Eugene, which makes me think of Gene. And it's like, no, he's saying Eugene Krabs.
Crabs, yeah.
Fish
odor.
odor.
I should just say fish odor.
Yeah, because every time you say Eugene, I'm like, wait, is this Gene? Gene looks old.
Yep. But in this one, talking about mixing and matching between 3D and whatnot, is that, and for those who have already seen this before, let me move this out of the way. Go in there. Go.
Hey, for everyone coming in right now, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, be sure to like and follow Mr. Movie Boy here, and you can go and see the teaser trailer for this mashup fan art that we are doing, animation.
Yep.
Fanimation. It's a fanimation. I'm sure someone's already come up with that concept.
Exactly.
But this is a fanimation. Yeah.
So this is just a quick screenshot of, for those of you who've seen the other videos, go check them out. We decided the easiest way to keep track of where all the items are as you go from shot to shot to shot. You know, Linda here, Bob there.
And I'm Linda.
And you're Linda. Is the we built the whole Krusty Krab Bob's Restaurant inside of Blender. And so this is just set the camera here over the counter to look at where the kids would be talking, and did just a screenshot. This gives me a rough background then to then draw on top of. So we also have the counter redrawn again. And then I put on a white layer so that we can see the pencils on top of it better.
That's what that's for.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah,
I'm really, you guys, I'm like learning as we go here too. I'm
yeah,
like,
otherwise,
ooh.
see, you can barely see the sketch lines on the darker areas
There we
here.
go, that's why. Okay.
So that just helps to see the clarity as we go from scene to scene. But then I also make sure that they're drawn in a way that they would be at the right scale and the right organization. No one's like we actually brought in the painting. We don't have Louise floating off the counter or
Right.
something like that. And then checking eye lines. And then if it turns out this angle doesn't really work or doesn't work for a shot, go back in, try a different shot. The goal here, though, is to not just rely on these 3D snapshots. What I would like to do is to, when I get time, is go back in and do an actual painting of this layer. Obviously, it'll be reused when the camera goes back to it. But, it's like it could in theory work. It looks good enough. It looks, we built this a certain way that it looks kind of hand-drawn, but it's not quite the same way that SpongeBob does their backgrounds. They hand paint them all, so that's the goal down the road. But right now, animate them. In the case of Calvin Fish Odor, actually, this is just a test animation. He's not. Obviously, he's going to walk when he comes into the store, but that's going to be a completely different angle. Mm-hmm. But so this was more like proof of concept than anything to show that okay. And a better reveal. Most of our character reveals is I took a Procreate sketch, took my iPhone and just went, click, look, and then put some iconic line from the show or some music underneath it and went, character reveal.
How
But
you're trying to play down all your awesomeness. That's good.
well, I mean, you were talking about the perfectionist thing, and there's that whole thing where it's like someone coming to you and saying, "Hey, that screenplay you've been working on, show me," and it's like. No, it's not ready. You know, and same thing with animation. You want to show something when it's like fully polished and all the sound effects.
There's no such thing.
I'm up at 1 a.m. last night.
Yeah, you were.
Just putting in. I was struggling to come across that iconic. And then while I was there and listening and sorting out other SpongeBob lines, because it's amazing how much of it is just womp womp or like squeak squeak and whatever it is. But and I'm even watching scenes and realizing how often they are playing music even under just quiet dialogue sequences. It's like compared to Bob and Linda.
Don't they use? Isn't that also a recorder for the?
There are So it is
for SpongeBob.
It is kind of record for it's called the Rusty. There's an actual hold on.
Name of the
song.
Oh no, but I mean the instrument they're using. Aren't they also using this thing?
It could be.
No, it's not quite.
No, it's I can't remember. I can't. But it's in that realm. I don't know if it's a. Does anyone know? Being here with us, really appreciate our fans.
Yeah. I like how you're squinting. Now watch as Tom squints.
Well, when I'm looking at my phone...
Just tell me what and I'll tell you.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. Wow, we're already down to our last 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes. Anybody got any burning questions?
Yes.
Please send them in.
Yes.
And
or
also...
check out the channel. follow along. We're going to be... We'll doing another live stream again from 10 to noon
next Sunday.
Next Sunday. And that'll be getting into July 4th weekend. So it's already going to be July, folks.
10 to 12 Pacific Dumb Time.
Yep.
I don't know. Dumb's kind of also a problematic.
Well, here
word.
let's close with that reveal
Pacific
again.
Dork Time. That's better.
Here we go. We'll play this a couple more times.
Oh yeah, for everyone who's just here, so you all want to see the reveal again.
Yep. Let's turn off our chill music.
Music. Music.
La 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 la. Yep, so that is the Rusty Hornpipe. That is the music underneath.
Okay.
But that's just the name of it. It's typically known as just
flute.
It could be. I did a quick mix on it because I didn't want to go into Logic and go tweak them till 3 in the morning.
No, it's great.
So it's primarily it's accordions in this rendition, but it's typically concertinas, which is just a smaller hand accordion.
There's some kind of a woodwind above it.
Yeah,
you've got to figure that out.
Yeah, it's some kind of flute recorder.
It feels like an Irish kind of feel.
Yeah, but I wanted It's funny because when you add those little extra layers, like the sound of his coming in, the little squid, the blinking sound, and the Krusty Krab theme, which is the Rusty Hornpipe, but you bring that together and it helps meld all those pieces together as you're looking at something that is clearly not 100% SpongeBob, not 100% Bob's Burgers. Okay, one more time. Yep. Ah! Now the big thing that I have to work on if I had more time with this animation is just simply things like the SpongeBob characters. They will bend and warp, and his eye stalks will bend out and do a lot more stuff. But you can only do so much when you tell yourself you've got 2 days to get something ready for showtime.
Yep.
So we are down to our last almost 1 minute.
We need to let your fans know before you go.
Yes. So this is, your channel is?
My channel is Georgiffy. That is Georjiffy. So it's like Georgia and Jiffy. Mush.
As you can see, because that shows up when you type, right?
It's on my thing.
It's on our thing.
Go over and follow me. Do a lot of dorky comedy and silly games and stuff, which I'm launching a whole new series of videos coming up. I'm really excited.
Ty finally said, hey.
Hey, Ty.
Yep, he's been a regular over on the YouTube world.
Nice.
And I'm typing on the wrong thing.
So people are wondering where we're going to be premiering the full-length episode.
Yes, it'll be. So here's the deal. And we'll run just slightly long to explain this because that's the big deal.
Yeah.
So September 3rd, because that is Bob and Linda's anniversary. 9/3. 9 is divisible by 3.
9 is divisible by 3.
Yep. So September 3rd. So in this time next week it'll be July 2nd, which means it'll only be 2 more months, folks.
Woo!
Which means we got a lot of drawing and singing and crazy stuff to do.
Music making.
So that'll be September 3rd. Now I think here's how we're going to do it, because TikTok, you can't do longer than 10 minutes. TikTok, it's vertical. Even if you do horizontal, there's no guarantee that it's going to flip it wide or whatever it is. So we're going to have definitely a big watch party. Big watch party on TikTok where you can watch it with us, and we'll do a split screen like we're doing here, and we'll watch it. But if you want to really enjoy the episode, big screen on all your devices and stuff like that, I think for at least the first week until we figure something out, we will have it on YouTube exclusively, so that people will go over and watch it and maybe finally trip the algorithm, and we'll have some fun. But yeah, watch it, rewatch it, share it with your friends and whatnot on YouTube.
It's fan art.
It's Fanimation. And then we will move into because I definitely more teasers, more pieces, the trailers, more reveals.
But you gotta focus on getting it drawn. I get it. So we appreciate that you all are hanging with us and hanging in there.
Yeah.
We really hope that y'all are gonna love it as much as we do. But either way, we're having fun, and that's kind of the thing for us is this is fun for us.
Yes.
And if it stops being fun, why the are we doing it?
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, because you can't do it for money, because then Viacom, Paramount, Nickelodeon, Bento Box would be going,
yeah, we're not doing this for money.
No.
So any little coins and gifts we get on here, we donate to the Babinski Foundation, which is an animal rescue in Minnesota, where Tommy's from there, oh yeah. So any little coins that you send us here, those go to save the furry purries and things, up in Minnesota. God, that was a terrible accent. Anyway, so yeah, but yeah.
Next time we're sitting out on the lake, you're going to have to explain yourself.
But this is a passion project for us, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
We do it for love, and it turns out you guys love it too. So the fact that the fans love it makes us want to do it even better and bigger, and we are having a blast.
Yep.
But yeah, stay tuned. More live streams every Sunday that we can pull this off between now and September.
Yeah.
And as you can see, that's mainly what we've been doing. The amount of videos that we put out on TikTok right now are down because I'm sitting here getting this done.
Yeah, we want it to be good.
Working a couple hours just on something that isn't actually going to be part of the episode, except we're obviously going to be using the rig.
Around your day job also.
Around the day job, and around
just so
things
we are juggling all kinds of things.
We're gonna collapse for a while, and then we're gonna work on her stuff for a while.
Yep. So we work during the week and then we work at night, and then it's all again. If they say get a job you love and you never work a day in your life, and it's true. All
I got in my head now is when Bob was doing the night taxi stuff as well.
Yes.
Lifting up the skirt of the night.
I think I'm a pimp.
Yeah. And I may have tried crack and liked it.
Bob, stop it.
So all right, we've got a couple minutes over, but we love you guys. We are. To have people who see it and go, oh my God, we love it, it's perfect, all that stuff. It's like that's the fuel that keeps us up late at night and doing 2-hour live streams on Sundays.
They're fun.
So let's see how we did. Only 1.1 thousand likes this time.
Only? Oh my God.
Well,
Guys,
we had a few.
A little big for his britches.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day when there were no likes. That's right. So, okay.
All right.
Anything else? You've been watching _movie boy.
Movie boy.
Movie boy.
So we're gonna first say goodbye to the YouTubers person. So Ty, thank you for dropping on by. He's been our biggest and sometimes only fan on but we appreciate and love every little bit. It's nice to actually have at least someone show up on the concurrent views other than just a straight deadline. Exactly. So let's see. Let's grab
all the cool people are on TikTok.
Exactly. Oh, don't diss our one and only fan.
Oh, sorry, Ty.
Good grief.
I have a YouTube channel too, and that's where I do a lot of my live streams. So I shouldn't have said that, but I said it.
Yeah. All right, we love you guys. So first, we're gonna turn off the lovely land of YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube people.
YouTube.
Bye. It says.